Okay. I just want to say people do listen to this. Now, a non-Chabad person called me, asked him, where are you? No, I'm not a Chabad. He downloads it, he travels a lot, and he listens to it. So someone asked me something today. Let's be up to Sifu Dalet. Okay? I didn't want to go into the long arichas. Let me just try to make things brief. Kitach, talking about over here by side, or pas akim. So kutach was a dip. Can you imagine? It was a fish dip with breadcrumbs and milk. And there was no fridge. This was a healthy dip. That's amazing. So anyways, it says kutach shaloy di chova mitter and choshen pas akim shaboy, because pas akim, if it's mixed in bread, we go after busaroiv. We follow the roiv. Whatever the roiv is, that makes it okay. The majority, even though there's surely breadcrumbs, nothing to talk about, but since the majority is not, so this is the makor we spoke about last week, that pas akim, you follow the alucha roiv leketchila.
In a salad, the little
see, that is noticeable. That's noticeable. The salad, but you put bread. But here we're talking a mixture. You know, the part of the ingredient is breadcrumbs, and it's wrong. It's the ketchilameter. It's and komukushin is arapashel chum mishamachel butel berav bein balach bein Jewish. It's butel. So bekitza becomes avo. You're not allowed to la'arav killer. You can't do it. That means this is something many people have a hard time to get. I am not allowed to mix in, if I want to make this dip, go out and buy breadcrumbs and not pas Yisrael, and put it into to say, look, I'm going to eat it, it's mixed in. Means I could buy the goyish dip, then it's okay. But I am not allowed to I want to copy this dip. Let's say 1,000 Islands, just so I'm doing 1,000 Islands, let's say has one of the ingredients, breadcrumbs mixed in. I'm allowed to buy it, since it's rov is not the breadcrumbs. But I am not allowed to buy breadcrumbs from a goyish brand and make it for myself. It's very important. Many people have this confused. There's always halacha what's done. The goy did it. So goy made something. You're allowed to buy like a tchila. No, okay. Remember I explained you're not allowed to even be machmer. Remember I explained that. Once a goy made it, it's tam kelein. Okay, but we're talking about should I go copy this thing and put in this? You're not allowed to. Yeah, same thing.
Because the Yid owns the factory and he's selling it to he's selling it in America. He's selling it from Goyim.
That's right. If he sells it for Goyim, there's not interested in the Jewish. One of the Mishgichim told me this week an interesting thing. He says to me that tuna fish, someone else mentioned to me, so I asked, someone mentioned to me, I asked the Mishgich who does the tuna fish. Told me that the tuna fish, someone had told that tuna fish, the company knows that the Jews are the best customers.
In tuna fish?
Yes. Because most going by 1 or 2 tuna fish a month or 2 months. We eat in a traveling tuna fish.
It's convenient.
Yeah, it's a convenient thing. It's fish and it's convenient. I mean.
Does this apply to anything else other than cost?
Yeah, but I'm going to explain that in a minute. I'll get that in a minute. I just want to say, but there's another problem over here which I began to discuss last week, which cholav akum. So this kutach has milk in it. You know, I want to tell you guys a secret. If it comes to the cholav akum, this problem, the later achronim don't want to tell us. Here it says a great kula. Now I want to explain to you what the kula was. I would rather leave it if we get to the cholav akum, but I want to explain. Butter is not a problem of cholav akum. Everyone agrees to that. It's a chumrah. Many people were machmer, but it was a chumrah. That means clearly you're allowed to use the kalim. If you have in-laws, relatives who use butter and not kosher butter, everyone agrees there's not a problem with the kalim. Butter is clearly a minig. Okay?
Unlike the cheese.
Yeah. Now how about yogurt, sour cream? How about that? That's a huge machlokes in the poskim. Is it like butter or like cheese? We'll get to it later. And many achronim claim this is the source to say sour cream and yogurt is okay from the kutach. It says you're allowed to buy the tukah because if it's problem of cholav akim is asas taruvis. If a little bit cholav akim got into a food and it gives it a taste, it's also. It's only pas akim and bishul akim, as soon explains that way. So they bring a rai from here that not only butter is okay, but others soft. Now others argue. We'll get to, others learn that this was kosher sour cream, which is a huge doichik to say. The guy made it, and I bought it, and he came in to ask for my cream to put it in. But many achronim learn this is one of the sources. We'll later learn why the mini goyim is to be machmer. The tradition of the oilam is to be machmer. It's a big machumra, but we'll get to it. Otherwise we're going to go off on a topic.
Why is butter
To be
okay?
machmer on sour cream and yogurt.
On sour cream and yogurt.
Apply to ice cream?
Well, ice cream is a different cream. Yeah, ice cream is worse.
It's worse than the sour cream?
Yes.
Why is it okay with butter? What makes butter okay?
Because butter, you cannot. The Gemara says you cannot make butter from. For goy is making butter, he's not going to mix in cholav toma to make butter, because it doesn't. It's not going to work on the butter.
We learned last week.
Yeah. So I don't want. We're going to get into whole. We'll get.
Spoke good last week. It was good.
Yeah. But this the kid of butter is also a whole alichas. But anyways, this is the makar. But this is one of the sources that sour cream and yogurt is okay. This is one of the. Now, I was going to say, the other thing is Bishul Akum. Bishul Akum is a machlekes in the achreinim. The Guan and the Pri Chuda says Bishul Akum is not botel b'roif. That means if you know that one of the ingredients is Bishul Akum, it's not botel b'roif. Only part. But most of the achreinim
This is
hold.
not considered bishul, or it's only a problem of pas?
This is Prama Pas. But most of the achreinim hold that Bishul Akum is botel b'roif. And the Chashilchem Paskins that way. Most of the later Achronim all make up.
All the hechsher symbols, they zicher, the semach on that.
Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. I really don't know. I don't know what ingredients go in, but I don't have a practical mashal either. But I'll tell you the most practical mashal, this problem comes up, I mentioned I think 2 weeks ago, when the guy made the chant. One time, the panic came over from next door, and they realized that the guy put in the crack pot. The chont, the kiddush, and yoy, no chont for kiddush is a terrible thing. You know, I mean, this is just terrible. So the problem was, maybe, as I said, the first thing they didn't know, people have a hard time hearing, cholent is not oila al shulchan malachim. Period. You're never going to serve cholent to your mother-in-law. Let's face it.
About the meat.
So the only problem is the meat. And the meat is meat. Meat is oil al shulchan malachim, and often they put in good big chunks of meat. And the meat you just take out. So the problem is that it gives a taste. There's nothing wrong. Bishul Akum is allowed to give the leket chila. You're allowed to eat it.
I'm saying that's a sign of the growth. The growth doesn't say it.
No, the Gurun disagrees in the Pichodesh. Yes.
So in this example of the Shalom, who was on before Shabbos for even just an hour? You could use the
No, they put it right before Shabbos. They didn't. They cooked. What is after Bishul?
because meat can be, people eat meat like.
What's that? Bishul Akum has nothing to do with Shabbos. We're talking about Bishul Akum, not talking Hilchah Shabbos.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. I really don't have a practical thing, but I
I would guess that in all the kashas, there's so many ingredients that we don't know.
No. Because many of the ingredients. See, I want to explain this. Well, let me address this. So, what about sugar? Okay. See, we sugar. Our sugar is made from sugar cane. Sugar cane you can eat raw. You know the sugar. Brazil, you know that the people eat it raw, and so it's not a problem.
They don't
But
have teeth when they're 30, but they all eat raw.
I heard that. Mamish, the teeth. They don't have teeth. Someone told me this. Mamish. So but I want to say, but there are sugar. The times of Shulchan Aruch, before there was railways, they used to have buraka sugar, beets. They made it from beets. I have no idea.
In America, they make a lot of the sugar from beets.
They still make sugar from beets? Yeah. Okay, so the sugar of beets is a problem. It's not edible raw. There's no way. I have no idea. That's what the person say. But sugar's used in everything. But the reason why there's no Bishul Akum is sugar, because Bishul, let me explain it by all right, I jumped to Bishul Akum, but let me, since we brought it up. Bishul Akum, we're going to learn later, hopefully soon, that Bishul Akum is two things that makes Bishul Akum. One, it has to be Oil al Shulchan Malochem. Now, Shulchan Malochem does not mean a king's house. This is people don't know the halacha, but always say, well, the president eats. They always say, "Come, you think the president doesn't eat Cheerios, doesn't eat the cornflakes?" I don't care what he eats. I don't care if he acts in his private, house like a meshuggah. That's not my business. When he serves a bowl, when he makes a choshev a meal, he will not serve this. That's how it is. Even we could judge it by weddings. In America, you will never, always tell people, you'll never give potato kugel for a wedding. Never. People tell me, it's a Bishul Akum. Here, imagine you go to a wedding, have potato kugel, the whole town would talk about it. I'm just saying, but that's it doesn't make it what one person does. There's always people, and interesting people do interesting things. But the bottom line is, it's something that, the majority of people will never serve that, so that makes it. Now, sugar is not something you serve. Sugar is an ingredient. So is oil. That's why there's no Bishul Akum in sugar and oil. We're talking about if you would have something made completely with sugar, you serve it at thing, then many of these children's nashes, up your sugar. I'm saying, but they don't serve it at a meal. No one goes serving this. That's the criteria. So sugar is an ingredient. It's not a problem of Bishul Akum. Yeah, but again, no one eats. You don't serve it. Right. You don't serve it. You don't.
Why do you care if the sugar made out of beets is?
Because sugar cane is not a problem, because something that's nechel chai is not a problem with Bishul Akum. Okay, we jumped. Let me just explain. There's two things that make Bishul Akum. One, it has to be oil al shulchan malochem. It has to be something you'll invite. You know what oil al shulchan malochem idea was? Let me explain the whole idea. Whole idea was, we don't want you to get too close to the neighbors, to the goyim. You come over, and I'll go over to you, and then intermarriage. God brought intermarriage. Finished. So you will not. You invite someone. You're not going to make, mashed potatoes. Come over. You know what I have for a meal today? I want to impress my neighbors. I have mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Or hot dogs. You're not going to do that. You're going to invite them. Your wife will make, like I used to tease my wife. He says, "I'm not so choshev." The guests are more choshev than I am. They get the good stuff. I am just, I'm the shrine. But the reality, you all know that. Our wives do that all the time. Choshev, a guest comes, and then there's a 5-course meal. You know what I mean? That's what you get. So I'm trying to explain that you will invite someone over such a thing. You wouldn't invite someone on cheap food. So it's something that Chazal said, you invite something, chashiv, that is Bishul Akum. Okay? And the second criteria, it has to be cooked. That people don't eat it raw. So something that it needs to be cooked. Something that people eat raw is not chashiv enough. That's even though they'll make it, it's not really, since it doesn't give it chashivas, we're not afraid of it. So these two criteria is in the so mamela, sugar is not food that you serve, it's ingredient. So is oil, and so many of these, food, what they use is ingredients, which is not.
Can you clarify the breadcrumbs? That you don't eat that either.
What do you say?
The breadcrumbs. Nobody eats breadcrumbs.
Bread is bread. No, it doesn't make a difference. Once something is Bishul Akum, I don't care if you crumbed it afterwards. Now, let's say you would have something that's Bishul. If sugar will be Bishul Akum, I don't care if you crumbed it afterwards. I'm saying bread is bread. So you made it into crumbs. Who cares? You made it into crumbs.
Why does that apply to your tuna?
Tuna, you'll never invite someone chashiv of tuna the way it's made in the can. Never. I don't know why big they are. I must tell you, I got to the bottom of this. There is a Rav who keeps on screaming, there's a pound Bishul Akum of tuna. It's a maratzis. Because you never invite someone the way tuna fish is made. It's made steam. I asked people I once went to a brunch and I asked caterers. In a brunch, they would give tuna steaks. Never would they take, because it doesn't taste so good. Doesn't look kosher.
The fact that it's steamed is just an additional reason.
No,
Right.
so that's another. There are some hold, right?
What about
No, right.
You would hold that, it doesn't matter, it's still not.
Some hold that steam itself is a cooler. That's a big machlok. But I say we don't have to do that. Just the fact that tuna, the way it's made, a tuna fish, you will never.
Bris Milah, they'll use it.
Well, what?
They'll use tuna at a bris milah.
Yeah, bris milah is not a choshev a meal.
It's not considered.
No, we serve everything. They serve gefilte fish even, the bris. No, really, they're not. You'll never serve gefilte fish. You have choshev a guest. It's a morning thing, and they'll never serve it.
When is there a distinction?
I want to just say, but I want to answer this question. One second. No, just a minute about bris. I know in my neighborhood, the richer people never would serve tuna fish. Never. It's like never. You could tell it's the koil people make a bris, they will have a tuna fish. But if it's the people, the balabata, the hankarbot, never. There will be fresh made eggs. You have the cook standing there and has nothing close look like tuna fish.
I've never been invited to such a bris.
Yeah. In addition to all this, why can't we just say that it's not their official?
That's what I was saying. Salad? What do you mean? Salad is raw.
It's raw.
So that's not a problem. It has to be something that's cooked. Bishul Akum is something that's cooked, made. What was your question?
Saying the steaming thing, you're saying it's not appetizing anymore. That aside, it's not their official, right?
That's not their Bishul.
Steaming.
That's another machlokes. It's a huge machlokes, and many were machmer, they held that steaming. So I'm saying without that. We don't have to be going to...
There's so many reasons to say.
Right.
So many reasons. There's two reasons.
There's two reasons.
No, their official, it's disgusting once you steam it, and you want to serve it.
But that's all the same. It's not
There
the-
are three because
No.
hypothetically, if it just wasn't a delicious food for whatever reason,
To
you
make
would serve
delicious
it, prepare it any way you
No,
want.
that's not true. That your wife doesn't give you tuna ever? You're a lucky guy.
No, I
You'll learn. You'll get one day. She'll have tuna for you there.
Rabbi, when do we make a distinction that it doesn't matter what it's from, like with beef? Right? You say, even if it's, you're not going to serve a hamburger at a steak dinner either, but you still say, no, meat in a chal.
I'll get to it. I want to speak about meat later. There are many Achronim who hold le plague, and other Achronim hold has nothing to do with le plague. They claim they used to serve it about a derves. Let's leave it for later.
Okay.
Remind me later. We'll get to more
Whatever
detail.
the case is, that doesn't extend to fish.
No, it's clear.
So fish.
Again, fish. It has to be oila shochem melochem. And everything, it's meat. The big machloek is why meat. They talk about the kishken and the shach. We'll see. We'll get to it. We'll see why.
Can we say it's universally accepted that fish is not oil shulchan?
No, fish is oila shochem melochem.
Fish is, but not tuna fish. Not
Yeah. Tuna can is not never. See, it could be in Israel they would serve it for a wedding. Here you will never do. It has to do with this place. In this place, Lamoshel,
They probably would. In Tunisia, they're very.
whatever.
Yeah.
No, I want.
No, it's true.
No, I want to.
Okay, that's just, it goes on the place. Okay.
Yes, the place. You know that for years I go to a wedding. I always try to look what they serve. So mashed potatoes, I notice never get served. Never at a wedding. Never get mashed potatoes. They only have these small potatoes and tights done. If you ever went to a wedding, maybe the Persian wedding is different. They give mashed potatoes.
Rabbi, I can tell you one of recent, potato side dishes. The thing is, it's like a mashed potato, but it's in like a crust that goes around it. It's individually like.
That's what I said. I went to a wedding, a very wealthy wedding, and I noticed that everyone got into the plate, made from mashed potatoes. They crusted it and looked like doves, 2 doves. Probably each plate costed $20 just to make those doves. I asked the caterer how many.
My brother's bar mitzvah had that, and they always do that for many years. I always saw mashed potatoes.
I know. Well, I'm saying, I tried just, but that could be if they would do that. So maybe, but I want to say add 1 second. I want to add, but potato chips is never oil al shochem malochem.
But potatoes are.
But potatoes could be, but potato chip not. First of all, the Mishgichim tell me that the potato chips are made from potatoes. There's no way in the world you could serve it the way, because today it's genetically changed, because to figure out how to get a potato and the way to do it, the house, it's crispy. It's a whole, today everything is a big science. Those potatoes are unedible in your house. You will never get in it, because it's only edible the way you do it with the oil. Second, you'll never serve at a wedding, not potato chips, and not, what do the children like? The strips, how's it called? French fries. Never. You know, they never say it's you know, French fries is good. The children love it, but they would not serve it at a wedding.
Nice restaurants serve French fries.
I'm kidding. Restaurant.
Actually,
Yeah,
I have seen kids at weddings. I have seen. It's a type of French fry that's very thin and very curly, and it's almost not. It's not as thick by any
All right,
means. But
so-
it's still.
So that type will be, but this type, the way you're making it is, you know, the way it's made is, yeah.
Food that you cook, that needs to be cooked, and when it cools down, you serve it later.
Once it's cooked, it's okay. We'll later learn all about that. You know, we'll get a whole seminar about that. Once food is cooked, the rewarming it is no problem. The shiksa rewarms the food, there's no problem with Bishul.
Well, you said about the breadcrumbs earlier. You said once it's bread, it's bread. Even if you crumble it, it's still considered not
Pasakim.
Pasakim. So, is that we use that application in other forms, like Pringles potato chips? It's not really potato; it's just shahak because it was all grounded up, right?
Has nothing to do with it.
No connection. Because it's losing its.
Nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. Nothing. Really nothing. Now, brachas has a whole sugya. It's a sugya
I have
person.
potato chips for Adam because it's still like a potato. It's not
Yeah, I
very
know. He's talking about Pringles.
Thing. Okay, anyways, we'll make one series on
Oh, this is
this.
very important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll make another
Pringles.
series on brachas.
And just to clarify, Rabbi, pas, the rules that have.
One second, I want to just say to you one second. You know that there's breadcrumbs. Your wife doesn't use breadcrumbs to bread the. Yeah, schnitzel. You have to make sure it's pas yisrael. Many people don't know this. They have OU Haza, but it's not pas yisrael.
Who has to make sure it is?
You have it.
Whoever's gonna eat it.
The lady in the house who cooks.
Someone that's not on.
Pass, yeah, most
Rabbi said
people.
If it's an ingredient in something.
Well, it's mixed in, but this covers the meat. So that
Even the
so
ingredient you said has to be already made on top of that. Oh, wait a minute. You said it has to be made by the guy already. If it's an ingredient that's not.
your wife goes out and buys breadcrumbs. If it's an OU, it's very possible. So maybe you cannot use it.
Right. But I'm saying if you hold that, I'm saying it's an ingredient. But even an ingredient has to be pre-made.
Right.
Okay, so I'm saying on top of that.
If you have those same breadcrumbs and you mix it into the meat so you can't see it, then it doesn't.
But you would not allow, even if that happens, you're not allowed to do that.
You mixed it.
You mixed it. I am not allowed to. I buy if it's bought object from a guy who mixed into his ingredients. The breadcrumbs is okay, but you yourself cannot get those breadcrumbs and make that
Well, that's
dip.
what I meant is.
You can only not do it if you're machmir.
I'm pass.
The whole.
If you hold that way, right?
What do you call it?
Pasakim.
If you eat pas palter or whatever, then it would be fine. Sure. The whole thing with pas, does that have anything to do with Allah Shalom Malachim or?
No, we said last week. Pas has nothing to do with Elchonon malachim. Bread is bread. Even though at fancy weddings, you'll notice they never serve the regular breads.
And cookies and pretzels and all that.
All is bread. It's all
I
good.
forgot what I meant to say. I didn't mean to say the brachas. No, I meant to say what you said earlier about the potatoes. I got mixed up. The potatoes at a wedding, if it's fancy, you can't use it. The guy makes it. Potato chips are fine. How come when it comes to not the fish, the breadcrumbs? I'm sorry. Once it's pas, and even if you grounded it, it's like the tuna fish to the fish. Why is it?
Let's say you make something that's oil shulchan malachim, and then you decide to crush it. Leftover, my wife sometimes a practical, not advertising food over here. Just my wife, the leftover Shabbos food, she takes the chicken and she makes it into a chicken salad. You'll never serve chicken salad at a wedding.
Exactly.
So, but it's still not. If it's Bishul Akum, once it was cooked by let's say the shiksa cooked the chicken, so it became Bishul Akum. So just because you make it into salad, it's not going to make it okay.
I'm sorry.
You understand?
Sorry to keep beating at this. If somebody baked a tuna steak, chopped it up and put it in a can, would be a problem.
Baked, yes, there will be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Right. Right?
That's not tuna fish.
That's not, you're right. You're right. Once it's Bishul Akum, just because he changed the form of it, most places, there's one, I remember one of the Chaim want to say.
The thing that changes it, you're saying, is the steak, is the steaming.
Steaming, you don't serve that.
So that's an important factor.
Yeah, sure. That's why you'll never serve, no matter how creative your wife is to decorate the tuna for salad, that you don't serve tuna salad. It's not so tasty, it's not so,
Canned salmon the same way?
I don't know. I never saw people serve canned salmon either.
Or can they
No,
have
people don't
canned-
serve canned salmon.
They don't.
But the question is, how do they actually make it? Because if they actually baked it and then
They
ground
steam
and
it.
put
They
in
steam
a
it.
can,
They steam it too. The reason why they steam food, it preserves the taste much better.
Right.
They're not l'shem shamayim. They figured out, but steaming food keeps the taste.
That's the whole punch.
What?
They cook it in the can.
No, they don't. That's not true.
Whatever, they bake it.
They don't cook it in the can.
They put it in the can. Cook it.
They steam it first, and then they could put it into the cans. I saw they do it. Maybe they do it differently. Or 20 years.
So firsthand, it doesn't count.
Yeah, I saw it.
Maybe every company is different, that's why.
But I saw that's how they did it. They could put it in a steam, and they steam it, and then they put it in the cans. The machine puts in cans. Yeah, that's what we just said. So the bread is if you know. So the shiksa made it. That's oila shocham lochem. I imagine the breaded schnitzel is served. It's done well.
Chicken is the problem. Forget everything else.
Well, I'm saying that's a problem.
The chicken because of the min, because it's chicken.
No, chicken is oila shocham lochem. Chicken.
Like meat.
Yeah, no, but even you don't have to say that. But chicken is oila shocham lochem. You go.
Schnitzel, not fancy, no.
Schnitzel
I
would
don't
be-
know. You would serve the. It doesn't.
Don't serve schnitzel.
I was at a wedding that did serve schnitzel.
wedding that serves potatoes.
No.
It's not common.
It's all about what you call it though, potato could be souffle, potato souffle, and,
Chicken piccata.
yeah, exactly.
I've seen at weddings. I did see very fancy made schnitzel.
It's a very subjective thing to say, like, oh, if they serve it.
Don't the Svardim have each schnitzel on it? I wasn't. I'm not
It's a German food.
They wouldn't serve it at
a wedding.
Israelis, for the kids, whatever.
In Kfar Chabad, at every wedding they serve schnitzel.
That's his problem. That's
Every single
Okay.
And they wouldn't serve potato cook. In Kfar Chabad. I'm saying he's right, no, they
I
wouldn't.
clearly remember the schnitzel.
I know, exactly, that's what Rabbi Tauber was saying, the schnitzel is
I was at Yeshiva Torah Center, There's like 5 wedding halls in a circle. They all serve potato cook. Every single one of them.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, bells with it.
Victor Mechaber Tesvov. Let's move on. Mishnizim a pas akim. If you nizir and not to eat pas akim, mitelecha bekara in a kara is a serving bowl. Mishain nizim emeni. Af pishetam pas akim is arev bepas yisruel. Ein nechosh. Even though they get mixed up, you don't have to worry about it. Now the shach the shach does not like it. He doesn't understand it. The hey you look at tchila, imagine, just those days it used to work that way. They had a big serving bowl. They didn't have spoons, so you take a piece of bread and you just dip it in and let's see, whatever the dip was. That's the Gemara's times too. So Gemara said, his bread, I'm passing so on the pasak, don't worry about it. So the shach says, shach is bad, when you don't worry about it. That's like doing it like a tchila. So somehow, and the Chanama, I'm not doing it, he's doing it, he's not mak, but it's okay. That's what someone learned it. That is, even though I said you're not allowed to be ma'arif, I was not ma'arif, he's doing it, and I am want to eat. But the Shach doesn't like it, and the Shach says that it has talking about, it means the taste gets mixed up. The taste, since it's a keli sheni, that's what the Mechaber is making. But it's the food. But the R who learn no, who say Chazal will make it. Chazal say I cannot buy the crumbs and mix it in. But he eating, I want to eat, and he sat down and ate, and maybe crumbs got mixed in. It's okay. I don't have to worry about it.
You get it anyways, no?
Nothing. No, it's this way. Yes, Omrim. Nishniz pasuk yichum oicha macherim sheinizem mitlech lamuam shem eva v'ktuta. One of the worst things that people don't like is when a person acts, "I'm holier than thou." You know, I mean, that's the biggest how you say in English, vary between people. So, the Ramu is saying, so if someone, you're eating together at a table, nothing to do with the balabais, just you and I eating together, sitting in, and one of them is eating pas, and the other one is not, and if they would normally, the Chachamim say, if they normally would share, sometimes people, I bring my sandwich, you bring yourself, who's sharing? But sometimes they would share the bread, and, well, that bread, is that or you? Is that you rub it in, is that pas Yisrael? This is a very so by pas, you're allowed to be makel and eat pas akim. There shouldn't be eva. But again, it has to be that the Shulchan is talking about. It has to be that people share it. Like today nowadays, you eat a lunch, everyone brings their own sandwich, no one shares it. But it has to be in such a oifen where there is eva. Where it's out of it. Okay, I'll offer. Why don't you take one of my nice, delicious La Brea bakery? Well, it's not pas Yisrael, what I mean? That brings Eva.
So if you go to someone's house for Shabbat,
It still applies when you go to
Only for bread.
Only bread.
No, but on the breadcrumbs on the schnitzel, you shouldn't ask.
How about bread?
Yeah, but you're also talking about
You
someone's
don't,
going to be embarrassed.
you don't have to eat it, and they won't hate you. You don't eat schnitzel.
This is just
One second. I want to answer this question. The Chachamim say it's only bread, not bread, because bread is the thing that it's, sometimes I don't like schnitzel, so I don't have to eat. But not bread was the good old days. Everything people ate was bread. Bread. That was the, so Ramela, if you're not going to want to eat this bread, that's a real.
No, Shabbat, the guy doesn't know it's he's going to give it out.
That's exactly.
Now, yes, and I want to say the Shulchan Aruch quotes this Halacha in Hilchos Kif Samaches, and he says clearly this is only bread. Even a minig you're not allowed to be bavata because people are going to be offended. So let's say you're makbar on butter, which is only a minig. You can't say the guy's going to be offended. It's only on bread, but any other thing you can't just say the guy's going to be offended. I heard this a lot of times. I don't offend the people, so don't get yourself invited by them. You know what I mean? Well, why do you eat out? Guy told me a frightening story. He came to me right before Yom Kippur, and he tells me a frightening story. He says, well, he was invited to someone, and they were relative, just becoming from, and he ate there. He noticed that one of the they put into the salad, like one of the 1,009s, whatever this called is, the dip. They put it into the cholent. And I know that it has an OUD. It says in the milk in it. Yeah. And he said, I just didn't say a word. And I says, I hate cholent. It doesn't sit well. And I went over with him, how much percentage is it? And I said, you should have, spoken up. He says, don't be afraid. But Akapunim, if you're not sure, there's no head to go to someone's house. People do this sometimes. You go to someone's house, and then you say, "Oh, I didn't realize they're not even so kosher." You know what I mean? But you're right. Bread is something that if you do, you get invited, or sometimes you cannot go. It's your in-laws, or it's your brother or brother-in-law. Bread, you could always you could be make a lead to pass if they're going to be insulted. There are people, there are parents who don't get insulted. I have someone's close to me. Her parents went and built her a kitchen. She became from, and they built her a kitchen because her mother says, "I know you guys are not going to eat in my house. So I'm building you. I don't need hummus. I'm building you a kitchen."
So then you should be machmir at that point.
Yeah. So her mother doesn't get insulted, but she built her a kitchen.
Is wine in that category? Like if someone serves
Yes, it's a gomer. There's no heter in wine. Wine is a serious.
Someone puts non-negotiable wine for kiddush. I mean, you have every right in the world to say, I'm not going to drink it again, and point out this is yain b'bush.
Yeah, but what is the problem? Someone touched it. What is the problem?
They're going in the house. There's a 6 in the kitchen. So what?
But that doesn't make it us. It's only if she picked it up and she moved it and she poured it. Moving around is not so a problem.
But she's just physically there.
That doesn't make it.
Doing stuff, but not necessarily for wine.
No. Okay.
I'm sorry, this happened to me once. What if you had a Shabbos table, the Balabas makes kiddush, and he hands the becher. He didn't announce it, but if someone at the table was not yet Jewish. So when does the becher become problematic? Once that person touches it?
No. He poured from it.
He poured from it for himself. He made kiddush. The balabas poured, made kiddush. Then he gave the becher to pass around so people could take it.
And he poured it.
So when does it become a problem? At what point?
When the goy poured it, he poured from the becher into his cup.
To make kiddush, yes. And then he passed the becher around.
So the goy made his
cup.
Oh, to his own cup?
Yes.
Made sip, made pour out from it.
Yeah.
So if the goy poured, is a machaykes to machab and the remo, and the Sfardim are very machma. They hold that all the wine becomes us in the cup. The Shach says you should machma. The Remu is makel over there. The Shach says you should be machma. But if you're Sfardi, you have to be machma.
If you're not a Sephardi.
If you're not a Sfardi, then
I'm talking about the embarrassing thing. That's what I'm talking
well,
about.
but that's not embarrassing. That's not embarrassing.
Could we be made?
They just say that's not embarrassing. I'm sorry, that's not embarrassing. Let the guy be embarrassed.
So now, fine. So they didn't pour. What if the guy drank from it?
So that's really becomes really awesome.
That's for sure. So
Yeah.
what they had there is that they pour.
Yeah, you have to pour, and you should be machma. Nothing wrong to tell them that
Can't drink it.
you can't drink it. Sorry.
And the seeing is a non-issue.
Seeing is
Yeah, you just have an alcohol from covering up.
But seeing is what?
seeing is it says not to make kiddush if it's open and you're looking at it. It doesn't say halacha. The shlok it says it's a nice thing not to make kiddush on that.
But is that considered a minhag that Alter Rebbe said that you shouldn't,
That meaning says in the Alter Rebbe?
no. I'm asking you if, because you quoted before that Alter
Yeah,
Rebbe
but that's not a meaning, a
in order to
isser.
make
Yeah,
shalom
yeah.
or, not to
Yeah,
offend
yeah.
somebody.
But that is not a isserig minig. That is a minig to get wine. It's like the Ketchila the Remu says, get non-mevushal wine. I'm makpet, I get a lot of wines. So we do have, and it's always a headache to make sure to remember Motzei Shabbos to seal it. I got myself, someone bought me a espresso seal. Because, I get a shiksa once a week, or whatever, twice a week, and, I don't know what she does. She cleans out the fridge, and who knows what she's doing. So that reason, I'm saying, so I, dafke, don't try to buy wine mavush. Even the Rambam says, like, the Rav says, a rosa, get, no. But that's a hiddur, it's not an iser. And a hiddur, you're not, something that the Shulchan says, it's a hiddur. It's different. Not to eat butter is a meaning which is an iser. You're knowing not to do something. You don't say because of Eva, I'm going to be makel. Something that's a minig, you only know it, like a tchila, don't make kiddush on wine that goy saw. Or like a tchila, don't make a kiddush on wine that's cooked. That's a hiddur. It's not an iser, it's just a nice hiddur.
Don't we have Eva a lot vis-a-vis Goyim also?
No, we only worry about Eva but Goyim if we're going to be hurt by them. We don't need,
Saving someone
Many people think that if a goy puts out a shiksa, puts out a hand, I could shake it because of Eva. There's no such a thing.
Unless there's a gun in the other hand.
What?
Unless there's a gun.
Oh, yeah, how do you call Yavor, Rabbi Tauber said?
Yuregal Yavod.
There you go. With the gun, don't give the hand.
I want to tell you a nice story. In my shul, there was a guy who was very mizalzel in this. And I used to tell him, he said one time he decided, Rosh Hashanah, this is Mekabel himself. He's not going to shake any lady's hands. So, they all run nursing homes, and one of his social worker that he meets, but I haven't seen you. He says, I said, really, my religion says not to touch the woman, China. You don't have to tell me. The guy that was the other shul, who never wears a black hat and only wears a kippah saruga, he never shakes my hand. So I thought it was going to challah, she says to me. I wear a black hat. Guy, no. I want to tell you this. Someone said the Lubavitcher Rebbe said a good word over here. Someone said over that the Lubavitcher Rebbe says, my father taught me not to touch something that doesn't belong to me. That's not mine. But I have in my family, I'm ready to give a story. One of my cousins, before the war, he went as a young man, my father's first cousin, went into business and jewelry. And he was a young man. And the first time he went to a store and the lady put on his hand and he didn't know what to say. He tells her in Hungarian, he said it to her. It comes out in Hungarian very good, but he said to her, I promised my wife the day I get married, I'm not going to touch another lady besides you. You could trust me. That's what I told my wife. The lady said, really? Since then, she only bought jewelry from him. Because, a woman love that, you know what I mean? You speak to a lady, you love it. You know, he's not going to touch another lady, and he's so devoted to his wife. She said, what? And he said this was his best customer. And he said this is Mama Shout Shmai. He was a young man. He never thought about it, what to happen. But,
Since we're on the topic, so we talked about...
But you have nothing, I want to tell you, I have been more than once in such situations, and I said, I don't shake a hand, no one gets insulted. No one, it's just you think they get insulted. They turn red, uncomfortable, but they should respect you. And if they don't respect you, then they're not worth anything.
This is what I would say for a barber, right? It's a barber because it's your job, right?
Right.
So there's no there's a filler to the end. If you open a barber shop and there's a woman and a man available, it doesn't make a difference.
No, and it's sneers, there's a right to be machmer. And Chukis and Hilchas Neder, Tzemach Sedech says, quotes on a band, Kol HaMarchik Arei Ze Meshubach. And sneers, there's certain things not halacha, but sneers we try to as much as we can. And sneers is you're allowed to be machmer and do is more than you. Mishubah Chassidim, I don't know about, but that we don't call we don't call another lady by first name. You don't call Rivka. We call Mrs. Mrs. Shapiro. Okay. But someone asked me, is that halacha? I said, it doesn't say Shulchan Aruch. It's just a way of sneezing. I mean, not chummy with your wife, someone else's wife. It's just that sneezing gezach. Because, we get into trouble. We men think about sex a lot. You know what I mean? If she's attractive, you get into trouble. Yes, I don't call her Rivka, I just call her Mrs. There's a wall between me. A woman like it, believe it or not.
That's a problem.
No, they like when you treat them respectfully.
But some word about a doctor, it's the procedure. The procedure.
That's okay.
Is something
It's
else.
a money, it says no.
Medical procedure and the formal procedure is to shake the doctor's hand.
No, you can't shake the doctor's hand, but
Just like the barber has to touch your head.
you can't shake. Shake is because it's a warm shake. I had once, I want to tell you quickly, a French couple came to me. And he didn't want, she was French, right? She was French, he was not, he was American. And he bothered him, he was modern Orthodox, but he bothered him that, that she kisses. So she tells me, we in France, we kiss each other on the cheek. So I said, how long? Just a peck. How about it's going to be 2 seconds? How about 10 seconds? Oh, no. What's the line? So it says, we have a line. The Torah says, do not touch another lady. That's the line the Torah drew for us. It works.
So how do you make a distinction? Why is that?
But a handshake is a warm, affectionate thing. I shake your hand. It's not I'm touching you because, a procedure, a blood test. I am holding your hand to say hello. It is.
Haircut is functional.
What?
Haircut is functional. Functional. It serves a function.
But the
haircut.
yeah, right,
It's purpose. It
right,
serves a function.
right. He said it, yeah. He put into good words. Everything, the haircut, the blood test, the procedure is a functional thing. This is a relationship thing, a social thing. That's the difference. This is functional and this is social. Very good. Put good words.
Back to Eva. The only reason not to be machmir would be for Eva, but otherwise we should be machmir on
Bas.
or be hadir on mitzvahs.
Yeah. What I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Because you're saying there's hidur mitzvah, but then there's a difference between.
Well, let's say wine. He has the wine. Let's say the goy did see the wine. So that's just a hidur.
Right.
So that you're allowed to say, I'm going to drink today the wine that a goy saw, just like you're allowed to drink wine that a goy, that it's cooked wine. That's just a hidur mitzvah.
Are there other issues where Eva would be applied?
The only issue, no. Chazal, there is such a concept of Eva, you're allowed to, when it says you're not allowed to be a doctor for a goy. You know that? There's such a Gemara. But for Eva, you're allowed to. There's such things. It's a different type of an Eva. It's a whole different.
Because they won't save you the next time.
Right.
And you have to make a living. Someone has to pay.
Would you recommend the Shabbos thing, especially by Chabad, when we have people that aren't as religious, a lot of people would call the Shabbos, many people that come to our house are like, so would you recommend having a bushel of wine just because?
100%.
Yeah, it's just much better than
100%. And you could tell the people, you know, a Chabad person asked me, and I have ladies sometimes come talk to me. I have a lady, once came, she wasn't sneezing. He says, listen, I'm a man, I have a Yetzer Hara. Maybe where you come, the men don't have Yetzer Haras. Please come dressed sneezing. She came back. I thought she's not going to come back. You know, I have a right to say, at my Shabbos table, you know, you should come modestly dressed. Nothing wrong, you know, you know, this is Shabbos, you know, because they appreciate it. You know, just they don't know what's right and what's wrong, but if you speak up, nothing.
You have to know how to say it. You say it well.
Right.
There's an organization out there that openly has it written in their thing. They call it Heter Kiru. What would you respond to?
Like eating chaza?
No, not Chabad. There's an organization they call it Heter Kiru.
Get away with stuff, yeah.
If it's for that, that's their time. There's no source in any of the that. I figured. I just wanted to confirm.
What if you're a campus? What if you're a rabbi that's on a college campus doing outreach, and it's like you'd have to send everybody home?
What are you talking about for the way they dress?
Yeah.
You just invite them. Like, and as, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you can invite them and tell them that there's a dress code. Come modestly dressed.
Sure.
That's it. A lady told me herself that before she became from, she went to Chabad Shliach. She came with a miniskirt, and she says till today she's embarrassed. She didn't realize that, you know, she was invited on the campus. She thought, oh, it's a nice Friday night meet. No.
The thing is not like the handshake. I mean, you could just, I don't know, hang out in the guys section or something like that. It's not saying it's the same.
I am just being practical. I'm a man like you are, and I can't imagine having a lady sitting right there next to me, not sneezing, that your mind and your eyes don't wander. You may be a malach. I'm not. I'm not a malach. I still have a Yetzer Hara. Certain people don't have a Yetzer Hara. When the people invite me to a mixed wedding, I was invited to go to a mixed wedding recently, and I said, listen, it was in the valley. In the city, we have Yetzer Haras. In the valley, there's no Yetzer Hara. Well, let's kid out. Let's not kid ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, with all due respect, I was asked to be officiate at a Persian wedding. She became from, and it was the first time I didn't realize how not sneezing, nothing. How it was just, I couldn't believe her. I said to the Chabad Rabbi, was also there. I says, "Do me a favor. I have a Yetzer Hara. You do it." And I ran out of the place. And then, you know, it's
Is it Marasayan or that's not an issue?
I'm not a sign. I'm afraid of my oil and halibut. What am I sign?
Put on prescription glasses that would hurt your eyes that you can't see anything.
Okay. Zug de Mechaber Tezayim. Yesh mi shoyim shenizem pas Akum. He bederech and he's on the road. Im yesh pas Yisrael adal milan yamtim. You should wait. So he's going on the people. If there is no bread, you know you're on the road traveling. There is no bread, so you know. So some hold. Okay, we learn. Remember, if there is no bread, you could be making get past. You know, I mentioned that your people will get stuck. But if you know in 4 miles you're going to get it, then you should wait. Now, most Achronim hold 4 mil doesn't mean, 4 mil is a walk of 72 minutes. Most Achronim hold that even I'm in the car, if it's more than that, I don't have to travel. Even though by car it'll take me 2 minutes. Some Achronim want to say differently, but most Achronim.
It's a question of whether you say
Time or space?
time or distance.
The distance, right. Time or distance, exactly.
Wait, which one?
So some learn that if it's the time, let's say, some learn it has to be a time. So you travel in your car, it's 20 minutes, it takes 20 minutes, dollar mill approximately, right? No, mill takes 72 minutes, I'm sorry. So if you're traveling, if you're anyways traveling that way, so wait 72 minutes. You know, some hold not the minutes, it's not the time, it's 4 mil. Even though today 4 mil on the car could take you 2 minutes.
How far
$3 per mil?
A mil is it is about 3/4 of a mile.
A mil.
You know, for 3/4 of a mile driving on the freeway is goonish. Not
So
even.
if you know that there's no kosher bread, or Jewish bread, rather.
Bas Yisrael, right?
Right, within 3-minute drive, then you can just go next door and buy
I
the.
can go, right? Right.
It's kosher.
If it's good, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah, they're not-
the OU bread, OU Ralph's, OU houses Ralph's things. So,
Today, people don't eat bread. Okay?
you know, or if you want to be machmer, you could always put it into the oven and rewarm it. It's a great. This is the greatest thing.
People don't eat bread that much today.
No, you're going trip, you go outing. It happened to us. I don't know. I remember. You know, we forgot the sandwiches. I remember what it was, and you know, just rewarm it. I went out with the children, but let's say guys stuck at the airport. I was once stuck at the airport for 8 hours. You know what I mean? Like you know, and I didn't buy bread because I just bought nash, but. I remember thinking maybe I should get bread to go walk. You know, on the airport there was a store, but I think so. There was not. It didn't have a. I remember now. It didn't have a shgoch even. I remember.
It has to be in an oven with a flame, or can it be in a microwave?
Well, does a microwave make it better? Makes it worse. I don't think it makes it soggy. No, that's not going to help you.
So the crackers, the fall, you said, I know you said this, but it's a non-issue, right? With crackers, it doesn't look like bread.
Crackers looks like bread.
Really?
Yes.
It's like a flatbread.
Crackers is bread. I said lokshin is not a problem. What was the other name of the lokshin? Lasagna. Lasagna is not a problem, but the crackers is a problem
How do you find that? Like,
because it has a crust like a bread. That's what it is. Okay, let's start Bishul Akum. So the Machaba. Something that's not eaten the way raw. So we're going to learn later what it means raw. But you know, something that people could eat raw, even though everyone cooks it, is not a problem. Eggs people cook today because they're very afraid of salmonella. But it's good. I was a young child, used to eat raw eggs. Yeah, but not just Russians, you know, my Hungarians. And yeah, they used to have drinks. So I was young, we used to drink it, eat it. Chazanim used to, but it is just, you know, it's, but now, let's say no one does it because they're so afraid of salmonella. The bottom line is, if a guy decides there's no, now not everyone agrees to that. We'll later get to it, why, there's another reason why they don't agree. But that's a good mashal. But they, you know, I don't have, you know, no one eats potato raw. I asked a homeless once what he eats, and he says he eats a potato raw. But I asked around, no one eats potato raws. No one. I don't know why. It doesn't taste good? I don't know why. I never. It's not healthy, you mean?
Yeah, I think an egg is also not healthy.
The hell, you know, but people don't eat it. The people that don't, like he said, look at it disgusting. So anyways, that's not eaten raw. V'gam oila al shulchan melochem. Has to be something that you would serve at a feast, at a rich feast. Lalapas bois a pas. It's made to eat with bread. Now the Chaynim say that there's one Pri Chodesh that said, no, the Pri Chodesh is the one, was the only one who wants to say there has to be that eat bread. If you don't eat bread with it, the Bishul Akum doesn't apply. Everyone disagrees with him.
Well, that's pretty. I mean,
So don't repeat that.
that changes the whole.
Right, change it, but none of the Chaynim Soymach, and not even the Soymach, you could be even make as a sniff. They bring down a ritva says before not by the Pri Chodesh held it has to be eaten with bread, something that eat with bread, something that you know.
You don't need stockings, and you can what do you call it? No, it stays by the knees.
Yeah, but anyways, the Pri Chodesh is the reason why you don't accept the Pri Chodesh over here. It says mefurish in the ritva, not like him. So all the, you know, the Pri Chodesh probably, we have a klal of Achim says a big Chiddush, if he would have seen the Ritva, he wouldn't have written. So anyway, it says a lapis by sapas because what it means, even though it's a lapis by sapas. But kolchkin, if it's not lapis by sapas, it also applies.
What would be an example of a food that where you know what I mean, where it's not?
Well, today nowadays, what?
Right, meaning when you say, let's say potatoes, maybe.
What's potatoes? What's
You put on your bread. Rabbi, you go to the fish grill, they serve an ahi tuna sandwich, so I think that would be something that you eat with bread.
They'd serve it, yeah.
Any kosher food you eat by yourself?
You could eat it with bread too.
Any kosher food, you can make it into a sandwich. And they do.
But anyways, I don't know. I remember now. There are cases, but I'll look in the Chrein. Remember, potato. Yeah, no one eats potato with bread.
Right.
Okay, it's good.
All right, so, okay.
So what is the translation of the lapis?
That means to eat it with bread. Nobody to remember. But the pasta, yeah, remember, pasta is not a problem because they don't serve pasta. What's the name? Okay. Rabbi sapas ole parpu shabish akim. He says it's shabish akim fil bekeli Yisrael. Even it's a keli Yisrael Rabbi say. Ibebayis Yisrael usa mishim Bishul akim. But Lagan will learn right now. The Mechaber says clearly, even though it's in a Jewish home. Later we'll find out there is one Barishna who's makel. But the Mechaber says, even though, see, many people, what was the Chiddush? I would say, what is Bishul Akim? The guy is going to invite you over to the house. But a shiksa is working for me, you know, what, she's doing my work. It's no inviting. The Mechaber says it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't have to be the next door neighbor doing it because I might get invited by them. It has to do, even though they're working for me and in my house, there's a problem Bishul Akim. So I mentioned last week, and some of you are a little bit shocked, if you have a sibling who's not religious or a relative and who was religious, became non-religious, it makes a Bishul Akim. It's a frightening halacha, but you have to remember. See, if someone has a tinik shenishba is okay, but if it's not a tinik shenishba, then it's a problem of Bishul Akim. It's very, 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 people have complained to me about this, very, very difficult. Someone just today told me his brother lives at home, but he's not religious, doesn't keep Shabbos, and I know he cooks at home. I tell your mother, I said, tell him that no cooking. There's a problem with the Kalim, Okay. Bishul Akim. Yeah, but come on, all the Achronim, come on, everyone says. They bring him Mefurish around, that's why they're all Machman. The Ran says Mefurish Chulun, that if a person was religious and went over the derech, is called Bishul Akim.
No, I'm saying that the Kalim, does the town...
Yeah, that's a Machlekes, and we are like a Tchela Machman. Right. Kalim. If he was raised not religious, Tinik Shenishba, then it's not a problem. Tinuk Shenishba. But if he was from, he grew up from and just went off, then it's a problem.
But he can't touch any of the dishes.
He can touch, but he can't cook. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. See, there's another locha quickly, which all the Achronim bring back down. You have to understand it, that Chazal, Rashi's shitta is that besides chasnus, the Chazal didn't want you to eat food which a goy cooks because the end of you're going to eat non-kosher food. So if it's not oil shulchan malochem and it's the nechel chai, you're allowed to eat it because it's not, it doesn't become a habit. But fancy food dishes will become a habit, and Chazal didn't want you to do that. That's what Rashi learns. Rashi learns it's two reasons, chasnus and not to hang out with the going too much and end you'll eat non-kosher food.
That's more than Pasach.
You're more than Pasakim. And again, a chasnas, it doesn't make a difference. I said, if the guy's a bachelor or, it doesn't make a difference. He's a man, he doesn't have children, cannot have children, Bishul Akim applies. And Bishul Akim applies even though the Chiddush and Mechaber is saying, even though it's working by you. Right now there's working. So even though, I'm not going to intermarry with the shiksa, my worker, the shiksa who's, if we can. Chazal made a plague. It doesn't have to be a dignified shiksa.
So what if you go into kosher restaurants?
Yeah, that's okay.
Kosher food, but
Yeah, you're allowed to
hanging out
take.
with them.
You're allowed to take them because you're not eating from their food. That's perfectly okay.
That's high, no?
What, going to a kosher restaurant with a
Well,
goy?
they said that they could trade for us, they agree.
Going with a goy, many business people, Pat's is a lot of eating go there because it's a fancy restaurant and they take people out. People my doctor recently told me that for his business and to meet other doctors, they always meet in Pat's. Nothing wrong with the guy. That's not no.
Without putting the reverse.
Yeah. Okay. In the Shach over here, Olive says that there was one shitta that says that the Bishul Akum has to change the food. Rasha shitta is, but we don't pass them that way. Doesn't have to change the food. They look differently. Doesn't care if it looks different, doesn't look different. That doesn't make a difference. And I would just want to add another thing. Bishul Akim applies, even though if Nechel Chai now, but now you changed it and it becomes not Nechel Chai, then it's a problem. The Moshe. The Rishonim say that wheat kernels, they used to eat Chai. Used to chew it Chai. They used to eat Chai. But once you make it into flour, you change the food. Now there'll be Bishul Akim in the flour. So if you have a food that, the way as it is, it's not, it's Nechel Chai. The Mushal beans, many of the beans. Now beans are not oil Shulchan Aruch today, but at times the Shulchan Aruch used to be oil Shulchan Aruch. Beans when they're raw is edible. Now it dried up, now it's not edible, now it's got to be cooked. So if it'll be oil Shulchan Aruch, it'll be a problem. So you don't look at it, it came off the tree, it's Nechel Chai. Bottom line, the way it's sold, beans, it's dried up, it's sold, and the only way to do is to cook it, it will be Bishul Akum by it. Yeah, it's a Nechel Chai fruit. Carrot is also Nechel Chai. Most vegetables are Nechel Chai. People tell me that today they eat, the last few years, people that eat cauliflower and, what was the other name? What? Broccoli. They eat Chai? No, when I was young, there was no such thing. People eat Chai, so Mamela wouldn't be a problem with Bishul Akum. There's a problem with bugs. Forget the bugs now, I'm just saying about Bishul Akum. There wouldn't be a problem with Bishul Akum. Because it's Nechel Chai. People tell me they put it in the salads and eat it raw.
They claim it's healthier when it's cooked.
Yeah.
Broccoli salad that everybody has on Shabbos or whatever, that's a raw, you're eating raw.
With the raisins and really.
What did you say?
Yeah, it's raw.
Right, so maybe that's not. Or onions. People eat raw onions today. No, in times of Shulchan Aruch it says they're not this way.
What's the meal you guys have on Shabbos?
Ayin Tzvima. Yeah, but it used to be in the times of Shulchan Aruch it wasn't so simple.
What's it called?
Ayin Tzvima. It's a Polish, the Polish and the Galician, it's a
What is the eggs and the onions? It's not a meal, it's a dish.
It's not a meal, it's a meal. It's oil Shulchan Aruch.
No, but it's important. The onions is so maybe if it would not be an Nechel Chai, because onions is part of it. Often they put a lot of onions in things. So if the goyish fried onions would be if it wouldn't be for that, it'd be a problem of.
If the guy made you an onion omelet, right? Would you say that both the eggs and the onions, you can eat them raw, so that it's not a problem?
The many Achronim, I'll explain later why, in another Mechaber, say that eggs you have to be machmir. Later learn. Some hold that if it's for another reason, since even though they stopped doing it for their health reason, doesn't make a difference, it's never eaten now. The many Achronim want to say that it is a Bishul Akum, but today. So today, what?
Why is it good food?
What, eggs, what?
Is it because it's a good food or
No, the egg. No, see nowadays no one eats eggs raw. So that is the question. If we don't eat it because of health reason, is that makes it also still nachal chai, but just in held. Oh, since that's the bottom line is, no one eats a draw. No one eats raw eggs here in America anymore. Even the Russians don't, right?
We gave up.
I gave up. And then I remember as a young child, people ate raw eggs like nothing. So all immigrants, and then you realize that it's not healthy, you don't.
So cooked salads, the shiksa, Erev Shabbos can
Yeah, there's not a problem.
And vegetable soup, not a problem.
Vegetable soup, it depends what's in the soup.
But I mean, essentially, any vegetable you eat raw.
Well, no, not all vegetables. My wife makes a vegetable soup. She puts in
Sweet potatoes.
sweet potatoes. She puts some out stuff. It's called a gore, whatever it's called. Not everything is eaten raw. Zucchini, right? She puts zucchini. She says, "That's not eaten raw. People don't eat it raw." But no one. The most people eat it raw. Yeah. So that's, and it's oil al shulchan aruch. I've been waiting to serve it soup. Okay, I have to stop over there.
We got a cause with this. Everyone should listen to the tapes.
What is pending for?
This is brought off. It's already separated.